Good evening, everyone. I hope y'all doing well on this Thursday evening. I was perusing through, excuse me, YouTube, and I came across some interesting video from one of the channels I follow, and it just really made me think about how people are being fleeced in these churches. I go to church. I'm a Christian myself, and I've been to different churches where some of the practices were questionable. Now that I know the truth, and some of them were questionable when I didn't know the truth. I went along because I actually did like going to that church, or I didn't want to go through the hassle of finding another church. And I'm like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It didn't. So I felt moved to leave, and I did. And for a while, I didn't have a church home until a friend of mine told me about a church he was going to. Lovely, lovely church, and everybody's so nice, and it's not real formal, which I like. And it's not so big. It's just, intimate crowd, enough people to fill the room, but it's not so many that you feel overwhelmed and lost in the sauce. So anyway, I came on here to talk about pimps and pimpettes, prosperity pimps and prosperity pimpettes. One man, I forgot his name, he was telling a parishioner that, hey, you give this certain amount and God's going to protect your bloodline. And I'm like, really? So what about the poor Christians all around the world who don't have? Let's just start from $100 up. $100, $500, $1,000. They don't have that to give. So God's not going to protect them and their bloodline, or not going to, provide for them. Certainly not. That's not true. And they prey on unsuspecting people. And then like I said, my daughter and I kind of discussed it, and she was like, Mom, I used to feel sorry for people like that, but now I don't. And I'm like, yeah, I used to too, but it only takes picking up your Bible, reading it, praying about what you want to understand, and let God show you in His Word what He's talking about. So people don't want to do that. They want the pastor or the prophet or the whoever's in charge to tell them, hey, this is what thus saith the Lord. They don't read that Bible. They just give the money or write the check or whatever they do. And it's over with. They done what they've done. And now they're going to get that blessing. Yeah. Well, sometimes God says no to us. And we need to understand that. I don't understand why people don't understand that God says no at times. It's not, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to make you wait. No, it's a flat out no. Because I prayed about something that I thought I wanted for a long, long time. And I said, God, I know this is in your will because your Bible says so. But I didn't get it. And I was like, well, after a while of praying for it, I just said, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone because obviously it's not for me. And, okay, so. So I went on. And honestly, I thought about it. Would this have worked? Or would I be miserable? Or what? So I was like, nah, I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be, I don't know. I don't want to be hurt again. So I'll leave it alone. And, my kids and I were better off for it. But at the same time, it did not stop that desire. And I had to really work on that because it just wasn't happening. So when a pastor or prophetess or prophet comes to you and say, hey, such and such, God told me to tell you that you need to come up with a $5,000 seed so you can be blessed. You can be like, well, no, that's not true. That's not biblical. Maybe you're trying to pay for something that you need to pay for. I don't know. Just trying to get my money. So my thing is read your Bible. Read your Bible. Find out the verses about tithing, because most Bibles have a concordance in the back, and you can look and find those verses about tithing and giving or whatever. But you just cannot always reach in your wallet or your pocket and say, "Here, Pastor," Mm-mm. You need to know where you're giving and what you're giving to. You need to know what God says about all of this. And stop falling for the gimmicks. Stop falling for the prosperity pimps and pimpettes. Until another time, God bless you. And peace, y'all.